a independência do Brasil! Independência ou morte! Independência ou morte!
In this video I'll explain how to play Brazil from Italy. There are three civilizations that can revolt to Brazil, which are Italy, Portuguese and the Dutch. But in my opinion, Italy has the best version because you get extra XP from Lombards and Basilica compared to the Dutch and the Portuguese, which means you'll be able to send more cards, around 14-15, against the 10-12 you'll be able to send with the Dutch and the Portuguese before the revolt at 30-60. Also, you get the Lombards, which are a very good economic building to synergize with Brazilian economy. To play Brazil from Italy, your deck should look similar to this. You should of course have the factory card, you should have the Lombard card to improve your conversion rate from Lombards, both of them. You should have the Papal arsenal. This card will not only give new abilities to your Papal units, but also reduces the time that the Papal units take to be sent to the rally point, and alongside another card that you will get from Revolution. This will make basically the Papal units to arrive in 12-10 seconds, much faster than you get from Imperial Italy. Of course, you should have the Milanese arsenal to get more upgrades for your military units from the arsenal. You should have the two food cards to your meals. That's basically the things you don't have. You don't need the coin cards because your Lombards and factory will produce most of your coin through conversion. You should have both the Capitalism Trigal card and Trattoria. This card will send 3 taverns. These 3 taverns, when built, will basically generate the same as the Capitalism, so basically 2 trickle cards of coin instead of the coin cards. You should have the 2 Basilica cards. These will give Lombards XP for conversion. Also will give you a free Basilica. This one will give you a small will give you an attack to get an extra Basilica to generate XP, plus will give you tech that will improve your main unit, will be jagunço, so your jagunço will be have a higher attack speed. You should have the Machiavellianism. This card will improve your hero stats, and alongside the card that you get from Revolt will be very useful to stack up the number of euros you can use in the battlefield, so it's very important. Around the training cards for units, the only card I use is Writing School, not only because you are limited to number set of cards, but because the other cards, since you will not train the Italian units, you do not need the training speed for infantry, only the training speed for cavalry. Now you will be asked why I don't have, for example, the card from Arsenal that increases the training speed for all military units, Venetian Arsenal. Because with this card, your jagunço, which will be your main unit, will not train, even with the arsenal nearby, will not train instantly. With this card, they will train instantly. Jagunço will be your main army for everything, so you should have, they should be training instantly. The only card that I think that can be replaced is this one. I usually like to send to improve your jagunço, but you can swap this card for any other card. Like for example native warriors if you are playing Brazil with natives. Also there's another card that you can replace, but is a little bit of wild card, which is one of these 2 cards you can replace for this card here, Silversmith instead of Royal Mint. Why Silversmith? Because into Brazil you will get one shipment that will send you a random mine, which can be copper, silver, gold, or diamond. This card will increase the amount of that mine will give by 20%, which means that if you get, for example, the diamond mine, your diamond mine, instead of having was 100k of coin, will provide you 120 20k of coin also will increase the gather rate. But this, like I said, is a bit of a wild card because you don't know if you will get that diamond mine. If you get, for example, the gold mine, you probably will not get much of this card. So you can replace for one of these if you want, but like I said, it's a wild card. Basically that's deck. Besides that, there's not many cards that you can put. I do not advise to put the other cards. You can try if you manage to send to have more XP either from shipment or for something else. You can send the infantry card or Schiavone swords or team cavalry. This card is not much useful because you will not be training infantry from your from Italy. The coin cards, as I said, are not useful. You can put also the card fortification, extensive fortification. You can put the customization because you will be able to train build forts with your hero. You can of course put fencing school if you want, but always remember that you are limited to 15 cards that you should be able to send before you revolt, and the revolt should have the maximum timer of 30 minutes. More than that, you will be losing a little bit more of economy because you will take it too long time to revolt, and you will not benefit a lot from the perks of the economic perks of the revolt. Starting a new game, as every revolution, your goal should be to reach H4 as fast as you can.
Qual è l'edificio? Lo costruiremo come streco.
Va bene, ottimo, ben comprendo. Buondì, va bene, ben comprendo.
Buon sì. Capomastro. Sì. Ne siete? Lo costruiremo presto, fia concluso.
Va bene. Segui, ottimo. Va bene, per la patria. Ottimo.
Come capomastro. Ben, cacciatore.
Buondì, all'assalto. Segui, buondì.
Ossè, cacciatore.
Segui, per la va bene.
Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesto presto fia concluso.
Come prego. Beh, cacciatore.
Ottimo, ben comprendo.
Qual è l'edificio? Non mi si faccia fretta. Avete del gli presto fia concluso.
Va bene, ottimo.
Buondì. Sì, prego, sì. Prego, cacciatore. Beh, sì, cacciatore.
Non mi si... Sì, presto gli italiani migliori fanno.
Va bene. Segui, ben comprendo. Buondì, va bene. Ben comprendo.
First card you should send should be the trickle card to give you full coin over time.
Va bene, ben comprendo. Ottimo. Buondì, ben va bene.
Buondì, sì, prego. Cacciatore.
Buondì, ottimo. Buondì, ben va bene. All'assalto. Ottimo. Ove mi reco. Buondì, ben comprendo. Ove va bene. Ottimo. Per la patria. Sì, va bene. Ben va bene. Ossequi. Buondì. Ove mi reco. All'assalto. Per la patria. Ottimo.
Sì, avete... Sì. Presto, non mi si faccia
Ossequi.
fretta.
Ove mi reco. Sì,
Questa
va bene.
è arte.
Come sprego. Beh, cacciatore.
Buondì. Ove mi... va bene.
Sì, gli italiani migliori il fanno. Presto fia
Segui,
concluso.
ove mi reco, ben comprendo. Ove va bene, ottimo. Va bene, ben comprendo. Va bene, ottimo. Ben comprendo.
Buondì. Sì. Cacciatore.
Segui, ove mi reco, va bene. Ottimo. Ben comprendo. Ove mi reco, va bene. Buondì, ben va bene. Ove mi reco, va bene. Buondì, ben va bene. Ottimo. Ove mi reco, ben comprendo. Ossequi. Vabbè, ben comprendo. Ove mi reco? Ottimo. All'assalto. Ottimo. Ove mi reco? Ben comprendo. Vabbè, ben comprendo. Sì.
The age up you pick is the Medici, will give you one settler and Lombard wagon
Ove mi reco? Ossequi.
for you to build a Lombard.
All'assalto. Ottimo.
Qual è l'Italia? Gli italiani
Ove mi reco?
migliori
Ossequi. Sì,
fanno.
va bene. Buondì. Ove mi reco? All'assalto. Ben comprendo.
And you should start investing also in your Lombard to provide you coin and wood.
Buondì. Ove mi reco? Va bene. Ben comprendo. Ove mi reco? Va bene. Buondì. Ottimo.
Ossequi.
Prego. Sì, cacciatore.
Come state?
Ove mi reco? Ben, va bene. Ottimo.
Sì, non mi si faccia fretta. Gli italiani migliori il fanno.
Ossequi. Buondì. Ove ben. Ottimo.
Avete del tempo? Sì? Presto fia concluso. Qual è? Gli italiani migliori il fanno. Presto fia concluso. Non mi si fa... Gli italiani migliori il
Buondì.
fanno.
Ove ben comprendo. Va bene. Ottimo. Buondì. Ben ottimo. Va bene. Ottimo. Va bene. Sì, ben comprendo. Ossequi. Ove... Alla... Va bene.
Cards you should send now are the Basilica card first, and then you will send the Trattoria card, which will give you 3 saloons that will trickle coin over time. Basically, will trickle the same amount of coin as the Capitalist card over time.
Buon pressi, prego. Bene.
Ossequi. Ove mi reco? Ottimo. Ossequi. Ove... Vabbè, ben comprendo. Ottimo. Ben comprendo.
Sì, presto fia concluso. Gli italiani migliori il fanno.
Sì, prego, ossequi.
Sì, non mi presto fia concluso.
Come sta? Bene.
Ossequi. Buondì. Ben comprendo. Ove... Va bene. Ottimo. Va bene. Buondì. Ove... Ottimo. Va bene. All'assalto.
Qual è l'edificio?
Ossequi. Buondì. Ossequi. Cacciatore. Buon sì. Beh, cacciatore.
Ossequi. Ove mi reco? Vabbè. Ottimo. Sì, ben va bene.
Buon come state?
Sì.
Prego.
Build the taverns somewhere
Buondì.
so they can start providing to you
Ossequi.
coin.
Sì, cacciatore.
Next card you should send is the Statuto Albertino. That will allow you to build an extra Basilica, which will trickle you XP over time also.
Prego, come sta? Prego, sì. Bene, come sì. Prego.
Ossequi. Buondì. Ben comprendo. Ottimo.
Come state? Cacciatore.
Ove mi reco? Ossequi. Va bene.
Avete del tempo? Ne siete... Sì. Lo costruire... Ne siete sicuro? Sì. Avete del... Lo tagliaboschi.
Buondì. Ove ben comprendo. Ossequi. Buondì.
Prego. Tagliaboschi.
Qual è l'edificio? Non mi si... Gli tagliaboschi.
Come state? Bene. Capomastro.
Ove Ove mi reco? Atti, ben comprendo, va bene. Ben comprendo. Va bene.
Sì, prego.
Ove mi
Cacciatore.
reco? All'assalto.
The next age up is the bishop. They will give you one covered
Ove
wagon.
mi reco? Attimo.
Buon dì, bene, cacciatore. Cacciatore.
Presto fia concluso. Gli italiani, ne siete sicuro? Non mi si fa...
If you have a TP on the map, you should also build so the TP give you a little bit
Ben
of
comprendo.
XP over time, which is good for you to send more cards before you're revolting.
Buondì, ove mi reco? Buondì, ben va bene. Sì, ben va bene. Per la fa, ben va bene. Ove mi reco? Ossequi. Ottimo, va bene. Sì, ottimo. Buondì, sì, ben comprendo. Ossequi. Buondì. Va bene, ben comprendo.
Sì? Gli italiani, ne siete sicuro? Presto fia concluso.
Come state?
Buon dì, prego. Bene, cacciatore.
Ove mi reco? Vabbè, ben comprendo. Buondì, ove mi reco? Ottimo. Ove mi reco? Ben comprendo.
Ossequi.
Sì, cacciatore.
Come state? Sì, cacciatore.
Buondì, ossequi. Va bene. Buondì, ossequi. Ben comprendo.
My people have been allies
Sì,
of the natives.
ne siete sicuri? Tagliaboschi.
Ove mi reco? Va bene.
Fool yourself into thinking that they are your friends.
At stage 3, you will send the Freemason card if you are using this card, and you save the advanced Lombards. Also build the 2 extra
Avete del tempo?
town centers that you need.
Faccia fretta. Codesta è arte.
Buon dì. Prego, cacciatore. Bene, cacciatore.
The age up you should pick is the Pope, because this age up will provide you 100k
Ossequi. Ben comprendo.
XP, which is good for you to send more cards before the revolt.
Ove mi reco? Ossequi. Ben comprendo. Buondì, va bene. Ottimo. Va bene.
Also, you can already send the wood upgrades, because since you will not go to the 5th age, you can already upgrade
Bene.
your wood
Cacciatore.
technology.
Cacciatore.
At 4th age, the first card of course will be the factory card.
Ove mi reco? Ben comprendo.
Qual è l'edificio? Sì, lo costruiremo qui. Presto fia concluso. Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte.
Ossequi. Come state? Prego. Cacciatore.
Sì, lo costruiremo qui. Presto fia concluso. Gli italiani presto fia... Non mi si faccia fretta. Presto fia concluso.
We send the factory card.
Avete del tempo? Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte. Gli italiani migliori il fanno.
Buon bene, minatore.
You should always train the architects as soon as you can.
Qual è l'edificio?
The next card should be Usury.
Come prego? Beh, sì. Bene.
Sì, gli italiani migliori fanno presto, non mi si faccia fretta. Presto, gli italiani non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte.
Beh, sì. Cacciatore.
It's always keep investing in your Lombard.
Come sta? Tagliaboschi.
Sì,
At this time also you can build already the
non mi si presto.
livestock span, at least to train your sheep. Cows you don't need that soon. The next card should be Refrigeration.
Ossequio.
Vorrei tagliaboschi. Tagliaboschi.
Bene. Tagliaboschi.
Ossequi. Tagliaboschi.
And you should, as a perk of Italy, of course, every tech that you upgrade, you get an extra village. If you want, you can upgrade, but you always should take notice that when you reach the maximum number of villagers, you should stop upgrading any tech. Doesn't matter what tech you have to upgrade, you wait until Revolt, because you will need these techs to room to spawn new villagers after you revolt.
Sì. Qual è gli italiani migliori
Beh,
fanno?
tagliaboschi.
Sì, non mi si faccia avete del tempo. Gli italiani migliori il fanno. Qual è presto? Gli italiani migliori. Ne siete sicuro? Presto fia concluso. Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte.
Ossequi. Come state? Minatore.
After that is sustainable agriculture.
Sì, presto fia concluso.
You also can start training your sheep.
Sì, lo costruiremo qui. Non mi si presto non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte. Qual è l'ufficio? Presto fia concluso.
Usually I prefer to just upgrade before the revolts, just upgrade the economic upgrades and then leave all the rest of upgrades for after the revolt, so I can spawn all my villagers much faster during the early upgrade stage.
Come minatore. Tagliaboschi. Minatore.
Sì, gli italiani migliori il fanno. Presto fia concluso. Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte. Sì, tagliaboschi. Gli italiani migliori il fanno.
Ossequio, prego. Tagliaboschi.
Avete del tempo? Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte.
Come state? Ossequi, tagliaboschi.
Sì, presto fia concluso. Gli italiani migliori il fanno.
card you should send is advanced Milanese arsenal, and send riding school to train your cavalry faster.
Bene, prego. Minatore.
Va bene. Ottimo.
Come minatore.
Minatore. Minatore.
Avete del tempo? Sì, lo costruire. Ne siete sicuro? Tagliaboschi.
Come sta? Oh sì, tagliaboschi. Come sta? Beh sì.
Ossequi.
Qual è
For the revolt also, I usually build
Ne siete sicuri?
2 barracks, 2 stables,
Faccia fretta. Codesta gli italiani non mi si
2 artillery foundries,
Presto via, non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta
2 arsenals, and 1 tower to
non mi si faccia fretta.
upgrade the technology faster after the revolt, so that you can spawn the villagers you get from each tech faster.
Come state? Tagliaboschi.
After you send sustain agriculture, the card order is not very important as long as you send the cards that you should send,
Sì.
but after that is not very much important. I will send now Papal Arsenal.
Ossequi. Buon sì. Minatore. Come state?
At this stage you should of course any technology that you can research, you should not research any technology.
Contadino.
You should wait for research any technology to after the revolt, so that the technology will give you an extra villager when you revolt.
Come state? Beh sì. Prego. Contadino. Contadino. Come state? Buon Dio. Beh sì. Bene, sì, prego. Come state? Bene.
Ossequi. Come contadino.
Buon Dio. Ossequi, sì. Come sta? Bene.
Contadino. Contadino.
Sì, lo costruiremo. Ne siete sicuro? Presto sia concluso.
Come state? Contadino. Contadino.
Ossequi.
Come state? Prego.
Buon Dio.
Ossequi. Come state?
Sì, ne siete sicuro? Gli italiani migliori il fanno. Presto fia concluso.
Ossequi. Come state?
Oh sì, contadino. Ossequi. Come state?
After that, you send your card. There's only one card missing basically, which is I will send the cavalry combat, but you can send any other card that you think is more important.
Bene.
If you, for example, are playing with natives, you should send instead of this card, you should have in your deck the card to make your natives cheaper,
Ne siete sicuro?
which will be more useful.
Gli italiani non mi si faccia fretta. Modesta è arte.
Ossequi. Buon sì. Contadino. Come state? Prego. Cacciatore. Cacciatore.
Come state? Buondì, contadino.
Ossequi.
Ossequi.
Sì, sì, lo costruiremo qui. Gli italiani miglior presto fia concluso.
Come state? Prego. Ossequi. Come state? Prego. Contadino.
Qual è l'edificio? Ne siete sì.
You can also already build the livestock pen for your cows
Come state? Oh sì.
that you will use to boom.
Prego. Beh, cacciatore. Taglia boschi, taglia boschi, taglia boschi. Cacciatore. Come state? Contadino. Buondì.
Prego. Contadino.
Lo farò anche a far fuoco.
Qual lo costruire? Ne siete sicuro? Sì. Taglia boschi. Taglia boschi.
Ossequi, sì. Buondì.
Come ossequi.
Ossequi, sì.
Qual è l'edificio? Avete del tempo?
Buondì. Contadino.
Qual è
Should
l'avete
save
del tempo? Lo costruiremo qui.
coin for after the revolt because your villages will cost
Gli
coin.
italiani
Plus you need coin for the upgrade, so you should have a stockpile of coin and a stockpile of wood for all the upgrades that you need to do. Food is not much important at the beginning of the revolt. Will be later because basically your economy will revolve around food much more than will revolve around the other resources.
Ossequi.
Avete del tempo? Lo costruiremo qui. Gli italiani migliori. Presto fia concluso. Non mi si faccia frega. Presto fia concluso. Gli italiani migliori il fanno. Non mi si faccia fretta. Gli italiani miglio. Non mi si faccia fretta. Gli italiani presto fia concluso. Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte. Gli italiani migliori il fanno. Presto fia concluso. Non mi si faccia presto fia non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte. Gli italiani migliori il fanno. Presto fia concluso. Non mi si faccia fretta. Codesta è arte. Qual è l'edificio?
Oh, bene, sì. Come contadino, prego.
At this time you can revolt if you don't think that
Prego.
the cavalry combat or any other card that you want to send is much important. But I prefer to revolt after that because you do not lose much of your economy. The only thing that you should have is an extra shipment ready for before you revolt, because after you revolt the first thing you will do is to send the card that will allow you to retrain villagers.
Ossequio.
Ossequi. Buondì.
Qual è l'edificio? Sì, lo costruiremo. Ne siete sicuro? Tagliaboschi. Qual è l'edificio?
For the revolt, I like to hotkey all my villagers, because what you will do is that before the revolt deck finish, you should delete all your villagers, or the maximum number of villagers, because they will turn into voluntários da pátria, and they will not be useful because they will be taking the pop you need to train villagers. So you can delete them like 2 seconds before the revolt deck finishes, so you don't have overpop of voluntários da pátria. You have to delete them either way, so might as well delete the villagers before you reach the revolt.
Sì. Tagliaboschi.
Quali sono i miei resti, Lombard?
Buondì.
Ossequi. Come sta? Prego.
Qual è l'edificio? Lo costruiremo qui? Tagliaboschi.
Buondì. Come state?
Ossequi.
Now we're going to revolt Brazil. Now, starting the revolt, the first thing you should do is delete, of course, any voluntários da pátria that you have on the map, because they will be just hogging your max cap of population, so you do not need them. Voluntario da Patria basically will be any type of villager you add in map. Any villager, any architect will turn into Voluntario da Patria. Also, you will send this card, Minas Gerais. This card will allow you to train villagers, but you will also get villagers from the deck, as the quirk of Italy is to gain villagers for each deck that you research. So even without this card, you will get the villagers from each deck. So you can already start researching the deck. It doesn't matter that you didn't send the card yet. You should train the architects before the card arrives, and you should also build the town center so you can mess up your villager count faster. You will, like the Portuguese, you will have the max cap of town centers will increase to 7, and then you can increase that to 9 with this card, but that's further. We will explain that further.
Ossequi, ottimo.
Sì, gli italiani migliori. Non mi si fa qual è l'idea?
Also, you will have increase. The game will increase the number of basilicas that you can have.
Gli italiani presto non mi si faccia fretta.
Buondì, vengo bene, vengo bene, vengo bene.
You should, as soon as the card arrives, you should start training villagers.
Sì, presto via concluso. Avete del tempo, presto via concluso.
You should stop also the creation of Voluntario da Patria, because you will need pop to train the villagers. As I said, any tech that you can research, you should research to get villagers faster.
Buon bene, contadino. Sì, prego. Come state?
Prego, sì. Come sta? Prego.
Qual è l'idea? Gli italiani migliori il fanno. Sì, presto via concluso.
You build the town centers, you build the Basilica to give you extra XP also. You max out your villager number.
Ossequi, buondì, contadino.
Ottimo.
Buondì, sì, contadino, contadino.
Beh, prego. Contadino.
Sì, ne siete sicuri? Taglia boschi. Avete le qual è? Ne siete sicuri?
Contadino.
Sì, taglia boschi.
You should always keep investing in your
Beh, contadino.
Lombard. The next card you will send is Huge Generate. This card will enable you to build a capital, and with the capital will basically farm XP with the capital, which means that we will build the capital, delete the capital, and start rebuild it to gain XP to the capital, so we can send the rest of our economic cards. And we do that with the architects, because that way we'll not be spending any wood.
Buondì, come state?
After Rio de Janeiro arrives,
Presto, non mi si faccia fretta.
we build the capital. The first attack will, before we start
Taglia boschi.
the cycle of build and rebuilding of capital, we should research the tech of the mills, because that's the resource we are gathering now, and any other tech can wait for the cards that after we send. First you send the large scale agriculture, and then you can start the cycle of build and rebuild.
Beh, sì.
By mistake send these Papal answers. Now, after we send large-scale agriculture, basically we'll be doing this to get to the other cards that we need. You should be aware that doing this will give XP to your enemies also, because you're basically deleting a building. So your enemies means that your enemies will also be able to send more cards before the time ends. But for you is necessary, because otherwise you will be not be able to send the important economic cards.
Non mi si faccia fretta. Questa è arte.
The next card we will send is jagunço, which will allow us to train jagunço. Jagunço will allow
Presto, fia
for us to train cows also.
Sì, gli italiani.
They have ability to build livestock pens and to train cows. That's why I already have these livestock pens ready for jagunço.
Sì,
Also, they can gather from the cattle, so you have a higher gather rate, because you put the villagers
non mi si faccia fretta.
on the mills and jagunço gathering from your cattle while you're in a booming stage.
Sì,
Prego, bene. Contadino.
prego, contadini.
Qual è l'edificio?
After jagunço arrive, you should
Sì, taglia boschi.
put at least 4 training cows. The rest of them you can already take your villagers off the sheep
Contadino.
and put jagunço gathering, and you train more jagunço so they can gather the cattle for you instead of the villagers.
Ossa, prego. Contadino. Come stai?
Preparato. Sì. Non è suono. Sì. Non è suono, sì.
In case of jagunço for the cows, I usually leave 2 jagunço
Poi sì.
to train my cows. I put a mod key to them, and they will train my cows, because I do not have ability to train cows without those jagunço. And when they are fattened, then you can start gathering, but we still will continue with the rebuild of capital to send the rest of the cards.
Adesso ordine. Sì. Prepara poi sì.
Qual è l'edificio?
The next card we will send is this card, the Feitoria. I mean, the Feitoria basically will make your town centers trickle resources and NXP. Basically, they are mini factories, and because you will have the 9 town centers, that will provide you a lot of resources.
Come state?
Sì, preparato. Adesso ordine.
Sì. Capomastro. Contadino. Beh, capomastro.
Qual è l'edificio?
Capomastro, capomastro.
Non mi si faccia fretta. Modesta e arte.
You can see my town center start producing trickle resources for me.
Sì.
Gli italiani migliori il fanno.
Next card we will send is Amazonia, which will trickle wood for us.
Sì.
Sì, con contadino.
And it also will increase the gather rate of wood gatherers. Villagers are gathering wood. And we do this rebuilding of capital just for one more card, which will be Donatarius. After that we don't need to, you can do it if you want to send more cards, but all the important economic cards you already sent, which are these ones. After that it's just if you want to send have a bigger army or whatever, but all the important cards that you have to send before the timer ends
Non mi si faccia
are
fretta.
these.
Modesta e arte.
Preparato.
Gli italiani migliori il fanno.
Sì.
Qual è l'edificio? Qual è l'edificio?
Sì.
Avete del tempo? Qual è l'edificio? Non mi si faccia fretta. Modesta e arte.
Adesso ordine. Uffizi. Poi sì.
Sì. Avete presto via concluso. Al posto.
After the Notarius card arrives, you build 2 extra town centers, and basically, economic-wise, that's it for the most important economic cards. Still one more card that I will explain,
Sì, poi sputato.
but the most important ones are these.
Adesso ordine. Preparato.
You should also, when the cows are fattened, you put the jagunço gathering from those fattened cows. Also, do not forget to keep training cows from the the jagunço that you set hotkey for.
Sì.
You build the 2 extra town centers. In 9, you in total will get 9 town centers for your booming phase.
Qual è l'edificio? Presto fiaco, non mi si faccia fretta. Taglia posto.
Preparato. 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 Adesso ordine. Sì. Preparato. Adesso sì. Preparato. Adesso ordine. Adesso ordine. Sì. Adesso ordine. Sì. Adesso ordine. Sì. Adesso ordine.
Sì, gli italiani migliori taglia posto.
Sì. Adesso ordine. Sì. Sì. Sì.
The last card that I won't talk about before we go to the deck review. This one. This card will send to you
Sì.
prospector wagons, which will turn into mines. The mines are RNG, which means that you can get any type of mine, either copper, coal, silver, gold, or diamond. The best one, of course, is diamond. If you get diamond, you basically set, because diamond mines have 100k coin. If you do not get, and if you are playing a team game, your teammate probably will get, it depends, it's really RNG, but if your teammate gets, it's good. You should ask your teammate to place the mine near you so you can gather from them. If you do not get no diamond mine, well, you keep playing normally. The card is not do or die, it's good, but it's not do or die card. As you see, I got copper mine, will not last long. But it's not, sometimes you get copper, sometimes you get coal, sometimes you get diamond. You gather the mine, but for example, if your teammate got the diamond mine, you should ask him to place the mine near you, because it's helpful for your economy, for you to provide to you coin during your booming. You should always also keep investing. Now we're gonna make a deck review of the Brazilian revolutionary deck. Looking at the Brazilian revolutionary deck, we have town militia, which will increase the damage of your town centers, also will allow you to send militiamen attack at second time from your town centers. So you can start with a bigger army if you do this before the 60. We have Feiturias, which is basically the same as a Portuguese card, will allow your town centers to trickle coin with food and XP. So you should have the maximum number of town centers that you can get. So this card will be as valuable as possible. You have land grab, which will reduce the cost and the building time of your economic buildings. Will not be much useful in this revolt, because by the time you can send this card, you already have your economy all built. You have Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro will allow you to build the capital and now allow you to research the capital tech at cheaper prices. The economic technologies, the era technologies, and the native technologies. You have Amazonia. This card will trickle to you 3 wood per second. Also will increase the gather rate of your villagers in the trees. Plus the trees will last longer, which means that instead of the trees giving like 150, they will probably give you 200 wood for each tree. You have bandeirantes. This card will allow you to have an extra hero. Plus, if you send as we send the Italian hero card, means that we have 2 heroes plus a dog, and the hero units will have no cooldown getting a ransom, which means that you can spam this card, spam your hero to the battlefield to tank damage from your enemy. We have cattle drivers. This card will increase the number of cows that you can train by 8. It's an infinite card. Also will send you cows with extra food. We have jagunços. This card will allow you to train jagunços from your military buildings, the stable, the forts, the taverns, the Lombard. Also will increase the number of the cows that you can train from 20 to 30. Jagunços can train cows, can gather from cattle, and also build livestock pens, also good military units. You have wildlife, which basically send 20 animals for you to collect food from. We have Bahia. This card will send to you 16 conquistadors and 2 church or basilica wagons. Is good for starting army. Brazilian imports. This card will send infrastructure wagons and shipments will arrive much faster. This card is a very good synergy with the Papal card from the Italians, because this card will allow your Papal units to arrive in like 10 seconds instead of the usual 30 seconds that the Imperial Papal units of Italy get. In with this card, your Papal units will arrive in 10 seconds, which is very fast, and you can accumulate many Papal units in the game. This Bonifacio will increase the amount of coin that your mines will provide by 8%. Also, as I said before, will send you a random mine, which a mine that can be diamond, gold, copper. This says you can send this card 2 times, but usually can only send this card once. You have Gatling guns. These Gatling guns will not have much upgrades. This is basically Gatling guns. They will not have veteran or imperial upgrades. You have the 2 ironclads. If you are not playing in a water map, this card is no use, but if you are playing a water map, this card is good. You have infinite fort wagon. This card will allow you to send a fort wagon. Also will increase the number of forts you can build. These covered wagons will send you 2 town centers. It's not much useful unless you are losing the town centers, but will not increase the town center maximum that you can get. You have Minas Gerais. This is the card that you have to send at the beginning of the revolt so that you can train villagers. Also you will get a 3.3 trickle of coin from this card. You have Guard of Honor, which basically this will be turn your dragoons into independent dragoons, which are dragoons with strong melee damage. You have Donatarius, it's the same as the Portuguese card. This card will increase the number of town centers you can build, and you, alongside with Feitoria, basically will improve your economy. This is Caçadores, Infinite Caçadores. They will be veteran level, unless you are playing with the Portuguese part of the revolt, they will be veteran level. 6 Soldados also, they will be veteran level. Infinite. You have 15 Caribbean blowgunners. They will be imperial because of the Rio de Janeiro, you get the capital, so these 3 native cards will all have imperial upgrades because of this Rio de Janeiro, you get the capital, and in the capital you can get imperial upgrade for the natives. Also, you'll be able to train carry blowgunners in your town center. They will not be as good as a native carry blowgunner because they will be missing tax, but if you, for example, have in a map carry blowgunners, these units can get their maximum stats. You will get Tupi, which is a good anti-heavy infantry. The blowgunners are anti-infantry, they are good anti-heavy infantry. You also be able to send 24 accounts. This card is mostly used at the beginning, before beginning of the fight, so since you are overpopping, you send this card at the beginning of the fight, because after that you will not be able to will not be a great use. And that's it about the revolutionary deck from Brazil. At minute 60 your score should be around 400. I got a little bit less because I was greedy. I sent more cards than I needed, but to buff my units, but should be around this number, 400. Your villagers should be mainly on foods. You do not need to cowboom this with this revolt. It's not mainly important. You can cowboom, you will increase your food gather rate, but it's not so much important like many other revolts. You should put food on Lombards. The Lombards and the factory will be your main source of wood and coin, so you should always use Lombards to convert your food to coin and wood, and the factory you put on coin. Town centers, you should delete most of your town centers, like leave one town center at your economy, because the town centers will be spawning Voluntários da Pátria. Voluntários da Pátria are very weak units, they are fodder units, but they are freely spawned, so you should build your town centers at the front line, so that when they spawn they just have to walk a little bit before they engage in combat. In terms of starting army, your starting army will be the jagunços that you use to cowboom. You will have either Imperial Conquistadors or the Akan, or you can have more. If you delete the capital a couple times, you can have more XP to send this card before I was sending. You will have the Voluntários da Pátria from the Basilica, the same thing as carabinieri, and the militiamen. I made artillery to counter the possible enemy artillery. You also have the Imperial natives. If you can play native with this revolt, you only get natives from shipment, but you do get Imperial natives because of the capital upgrades, so you can play natives with this revolt. You also have, like the Portuguese, you can use your hero units to tank the enemy. You will get 2 explorers and 1 dog, and because they will, after you send the card the Bandeirante, they will have no cooldown to be ransomed. You can always use the ransom ability to keep your hero units at the front line with soaking up damage. Also, you will have the Royal Guard Cavalries and Royal Guard Mortars, because you are playing from Italy, which are a little bit stronger than normal, but not so much. They still need 3 shots to kill the normal cavalry. But they do a little more damage compared to the normal cavalries and normal mortars. That's about it. We should now we're going to make a unit review of this revolt, see what Brazil has to offer. Looking at the Brazilian revolt, the units you should not be training are in this case, Italian units, all infantry units. You should not be training none of them, because Basilica and Albertino are coin heavy, and you will not start with many coin. The coin should be mainly used for you to train artillery. Also, your units these units will take a long time to train, because you didn't send the infantry card. Of course, if you send the infantry card, and for example you have a native in a map like the Inca or Akan, where increase the train time, the train speed of these units, you can train them, but probably you have to make some adjustments to the booming. The booming must not be equal, because as you see, my booming is mainly focused to have a lot of food, because your main unit will be jagunço, which is only food heavy. the other units are not so much heavy. So these units that you get from your standard force of Italy, you should avoid them. Look in the artillery. The artillery will be basically the same that you get from the fourth era. You get access to the cavalry, the mortar, the horse gun, the field gun, and in this case the heavy cannon, which is the Papal Lombard. And these units, they are nothing special. They are the same as the H4 artillery. You get the Royal Guard for cavalry and the mortar. The Papal Lombard you can get still from the factory, but because Papal Lombard is very slow unit to walk, you're not advisable. Even if you build the front factory, is not advisable because these units take long time to reach their destination. You also will be able to have access to the Gatling gun through the shipment. The Gatling gun doesn't have no upgrades. Is standard Gatling gun. The only difference is that you can only get them through the shipment, and after you send the Brazilian imports, these shipments arrive fast, which means you can amass these units very fast. But besides that, the artillery is still the same from Revolutionary Brazil. Now, Revolutionary Brazil has one perk, which is that the Papal units arrive much faster than the standard H5 Italy, because they discard the Brazilian imports. This card reduces the time that H shipments arrive. So because the Papal units count as shipments, these also decrease the time they take to arrive. Instead of the standard 30 to 20 seconds that the Papal units take to arrive in the battlefield, after you send the Brazilian import, the Papal units are very fast to arrive, as I show you here. Also, they shadow tech until H4. They do not have the H5 because you revolted, but they still solid units, and you can amass them to fight against your opponent. You have the Papal Zouave, the Papal Lancer, the Schiavone, and the Papal Guard, each one with their qualities and each one with their counters. Also, you will be able to get access to 4 infantry units, but basically only one of them you can train, which is the Legendary Bow Gunner. You'll be able to train Legendary Bow Gunner after you send the Infinite Bow Gunner card once. This card will unlock the Legendary Bow Gunner to be trained at your barracks. These 3 units, Tupi, the Soldado and Caçadores, only be available to be sent by shipment. After you send Brazilian imports, the shipments will arrive fast, so you can amass these units very fast also. The native units, the Tupi and the Bow Gunner, will be weaker than the normal Imperial because they do not have the guard upgrade that you get from a native TP. Of course, if you are playing a map and you have the native TP, they can get their maximum stats, but otherwise they will be a lot weaker because they don't have the guard upgrade. You still do get the Imperial upgrade from the capital that you sent, but the guard upgrade will be missing. The Caçador and the Soldado will be a little bit stronger than the standard guard units for their respective civilizations, because these are not standard units, they are consulate units, which means they have 10% increase on damage and 10% increase on HP compared to their standard from the civilization they come from. In terms of cavalry, you will be able to train dragoons, which will be your bread and butter, basically will be the unit you will make the most. Dragoons is similar to Rifle Rider, which means that they do counter heavy cavalry and counter infantry, and because they have melee resist, they also very good against Albertino type units, which have a multiplier against heavy cavalry. But they have a dual tag, which means they have the tag of heavy cavalry and the tag of light cavalry, which means they benefit from the technology from the Italy, which increases the train speed of the dragoon type units, plus increase attack rate. So instead of they having 3 attack speed, they have 2.7. but because they have the dual attack, which means they also get countered by the light infantry, which counter dragoons. Not at some higher rate, but because they don't have the range resist, who basically will be equalized. You'll also be able to train independence dragoons, which are basically the same as normal dragoons. The only difference is that they have a much higher melee attack damage, which without multipliers. They're only good to fight, for example, melee cavalry. Aside from that, they are not exceptional units. You also be able to get 2 heroes and 1 dog, like the Portuguese at Imperial Age, after you send this card Bandeirantes. After sending this card Bandeirantes, your ransom will not have cooldown, which means you can always revive them instantly after they got down. So you should use them at the front line to soak up damage against your enemy. Also, because you get access to the capital upgrades, you can play with the natives with the civilization, because you get the imperial upgrades for the natives, unlike many other revolts. Your last unit is Voluntários da Pátria, which is the second main unit. This unit you do not train. This unit is spawned by the town center. That's why you should have the town centers close to the battlefield, so that the town centers produce these units. As you see, they don't have great stats, but they are basically fodder units. They are only there to make a little bit of damage and soak up damage, but because they are freely spawned, they are good to overwhelm your enemy with the ship units, while your main units deal the damage to your enemy. And that's basically it, the roster of Revolutionary Brazil. They are filled with a lot of ship units, but then you have strong units that you can get from the civilization that you play. In this case, Italy, you will get access to the Papal units. You also get access to the Euro spam that the Portuguese get. Brazil is a very interesting revolt because you get a mix of the Portuguese, the Italians, and the Russian playstyle, because you get the instant Papal units from Italy. If you revolt from Italy, you get the Feitoria to your town centers, and the spawn of your hero units to the battlefield without cooldown. Also, you get the similar duration playstyle, because jagunço are instantly trained ship units. Voluntários da Pátria are freely trained to the town centers to overwhelm your enemies. Plus, you get the imperial natives, because it has its weakness. The mainly one is that you do not get the imperial units, plus it's a weak revolt if you are playing against the Skirm-Goon composition, because they do not have a very fast way to counter this type of playstyle. But overall, it's a very fun revolt to play. Give it a like and subscribe. See you in the next video.
Dos antros da escravidão, desse afronta